Hey y'all, welcome back. I don't have anything specific to talk about again, but as y'all know, I am always on social media running across just all kinds of videos. So y'all let me know if y'all want to see more videos where I just talk about random stuff. It's not really like a theme or a topic. It's just videos that I ran across and I found interesting and I wanted to do commentary on them. So let's get into these videos and I'll be in and out with my commentary.
Normalization of hatred for men more prevalent than for women, and I would say yes, overwhelmingly.
Lately, I'm noticing that when these men say that women hate men, it's only because women are telling the truth about men and speaking out about their experiences, and these men are trying to gaslight them. If women do hate men, which I'm pretty sure there are a lot of women that do, those women have a very good reason to hate men. So don't feel bad if you hate men. You have a reason to hate men.
Where do you see the hatred of men primarily? I'm just curious.
Well, I see it in women's marches, and I see it in general conversation when women are like, I don't need a man.
Yeah. I don't need a man?
So their definition of hate is just when you speak the truth. When you speak a fact about yourself, I don't need a man, that is you saying, I hate men to him and to a lot of them.
So I'm curious, if a man were to say, I don't really need a woman, I'm happy living my life the way I am, I enjoy my career, I enjoy where I'm at, I'm just not really in a position where I need a woman. Would he be hating women by making that type of statement, making such a sentiment?
Women?
Yeah, would you say they hate women?
Well, that's not celebrated, though. That's not something that's...
No, but that's not what I said, though. I said, is that an example of hating women?
Is that an example of hating women?
Because you said an example of hating men is saying, I don't need a man.
Yeah, but they're doing it in a way to put down men. They're doing it because they view the patriarchal structure of society as being an inherently bad thing. Why? Because
I think a society in which is structured so that men have certain advantages over women unfairly is unfair to them. I don't think attacking patriarchy or the advantages that men get is in any way attacking them. There's a famous phrase, to the privilege, equality feels like oppression. Wrong.
Misandry is normal. It's very normalized to the point where we don't even realize it.
You can't give me an example of it. That's what I'm wondering.
You a bunch of examples.
But the examples you gave me were women trying to live their lives of their own autonomy and accord, which is saying, I don't need a man, which is fine. I don't see what world you view that as hatred unless you think you're entitled to women.
And if y'all notice, whenever somebody asks them, why do you say women hate men? They can't give you an answer, which means they're just making up stuff and spewing out stuff that they are hearing in the red pill. Because they can't answer it like a woman could answer that question. If you ask the woman, why do you say men hate women? The woman can tell you, oh, because they're raping women all around the world. They're killing women all around the world. It's a ass operation around the world that they're taking us out. They're trafficking us. They're trafficking kids. They feel like when they get married, they want you to cook, clean, be their maid, be their housekeeper, be their sex slave, be their A, B, and C without you getting paid, and they'll cheat on you like all the time. Like women that will have so many different answers to why men actually hate women, but they can't give you not one answer that is like factual.
Yeah, but
that's the only way I interpret that as a hatred of man. I'm being as charitable as I literally possibly can.
I've literally heard women say, I hate men.
Of course, literally. Absolutely.
And death to the patriarchy,
of course.
all these things.
Wait a second. Death to the patriarchy means death to the societal structures in which give men more societal power than women for no reason. That's not the hatred of men unless you think men ought to have that power because they are men. That is the only way you interpret it that way. So all I'm showing here is a lot of these ideas of what you think misandry is are just your misogynistic instincts and assumptions being exposed.
I'm 33.
Are you a virgin?
Yes.
Why is it that you chose to wait?
When I was really young and I had crushes on other girls and they may have had a crush on me and then maybe they developed a crush on somebody else, I was like, oh, well, is she really mine? And now that she's had, a relationship with somebody else or a crush on somebody else or she kissed somebody else. And I thought there's got to be some level of physical intimacy that is supposed to be just between me and my eternal partner. When I first learned what sex was, I was like, this is it. This is what a man and woman who are committed to each other in marriage should do exclusively.
But are you also looking for a virgin woman?
No, that's a good question. For me, I think that's right for me, and I want to be able to provide that commitment to my wife. I understand that's unrealistic in today's society, so I'd be open to dating someone who is not also a virgin.
Do you think that women who have already had previous sexual partners are going to be as attracted to you knowing that you're a virgin?
I'm not sure, and sometimes I wonder if that's the reason why I'm still single.
So I knew of one man like this in my life, and he was a Christian, and that's why he was doing it for religion. A lot of y'all know that I don't believe that monogamy is natural, and this is good. I think this is good for him in many ways because he won't have to worry about catching diseases or getting his heart broken or falling in love with somebody he's not supposed to fall in love with, or getting anybody pregnant or getting somebody else attached to him. So this is good, and I give him his kudos, but I don't believe that monogamy is natural. And when he said that he wants somebody that is his, that is the part that I found toxic, because when you have sex with somebody, that doesn't mean they're yours. When you marry somebody, that doesn't mean they're yours, and vice versa. It just means that you made a commitment to this person, and you're going to be faithful, and you're going to try your best to value that commitment, and you're going to just be with that person, and you made a choice to be monogamous with that person. So that's all that means. It doesn't mean that you belong to that person and they belong to you, because you cannot physically own another person. You can't have another person as yours. So I get what people are saying when they say, I want to find my person, but I feel like that's why a lot of people get their feelings hurt and they get their hearts broken, because they truly in their hearts believe that that person is the one person for them for all eternity. And we're not naturally monogamous people. They say the average marriage lasts 7 years, and yeah, nothing is meant to last forever. And I know that people don't believe that because we've been taught marriages until death do us part, and you're supposed to stick it out until whatever, just ride or die. But really, they only mean stick it out for the woman. She's the only one that is supposed to ride or die. The man can go through all kind of changes and cheating. That's what they say when they say changes. The man is cheating. It's not talking about like menopause and all the stuff women go through, and hormones and menstruation and pregnancy, and not those kind of changes. We're only supposed to stick it out for the changes, the cheating and the abuse, the beating that men put down. That's when you're supposed to love unconditionally. But anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts on what he had to say.
Thing with women, the more close they get, the more intimate they get, the more scared they get it's not going to work, and then they do things to f it up. True or false, ladies? Yes or no? True or false? They're not trying to f it up, they're trying to test it, right? They're trying to smack against it, see.
I cannot stand when there is an audience full of women listen to men like Tony, and then they ask them a question like this, and the women all agree. This is not something that women do overall. This is something that men do all the time. All you have to do is listen to the stories of women on Reddit or on any of these channels that women are speaking about issues with men. Men test women all the time with the phone, don't call them back or text them back for hours just to make them want you more, with nagging, with just all the little games that they play. This is why I said women should stop listening to men, because everything they say about us is what they do.
And what's happening is she's got this big, strong guy who has this tremendous presence. He's smart, he's strong, he's handsome, he's a great provider, he's everything she could dream of.
And how often do women get all of these things in one man? Not often. You're not going to find a man that's handsome, smart, strong, everything that you need to be. Most women don't get that.
On the line for her. So she's even more happy, and she's willing to go places with you she'd go with no other man. That's not an invitation she's made to other men. That invitation was for you. Right? That's amazing. She's willing to open up at a level for her that's scary as hell. But instinctively, she knows to own you, she's got to be able to have both those sides. Because she knows there's a dark side in you because she's been attracted to it. True or false?
No, this is what was missing for me, the dark energy.
Yes.
It was always just, you're so nice, you're so beautiful, I love you so much, you're amazing, but it was so like,
Now, did you hear that, gentlemen? I mean, it sounds cuckoo, and we are. We literally are. I mean, there is no logic in it in any way, shape, or form. A human being is so nice, so kind, so...
She's saying a human being is so nice, so kind, so loving, but what human beings are taught and conditioned to be so nice, so kind, and so loving?
So loving, so generous.
And by the way,
so
she
pleasing.
loves that in you too.
She loves
picks
that
you that
too.
because that makes you safe.
Yeah.
So when do you turn that on and off? That's my... I just decide, right? If I want it, I just take it.
Well, here's the difference too.
So he asked, when do you turn off being so nice, so kind, and so loving? Because men are not conditioned to be those things. Men are naturally not those things. Women, even if we weren't conditioned to be those things, I believe that we would naturally be those things, and men are not. And that's why you will see them asking questions like this, because they want to become more human, more like women, and they don't know how. So they kind of mimic what women do to become more human, to become more like women, so that women will want to be with them.
Really confused.
He's confused. Here's the thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have to deliver this message to you. You have to stay awake with your woman all the time.
Yeah.
You can't have a set of rules like everything else in our lives that make our lives efficient as men. These devices are inefficient, but they're so incredible. No device will ever compare to it. So our life is about finding the strategy, the shortcut, get things down. That's the masculine world, right? I'm with you, brother. Doesn't work on this planet. On this planet,
women wait 6 years after knowing it's over before they leave. 6 years. This is what's actually happening. You have been taught that your discomfort is not evidence, that you need a bigger reason, a dramatic moment, something that you can point to and say, that's why. But here is what those 6 years actually cost. 65% of women say financial stress is the #1 source of stress that keeps them in fear and keeps them in relationships they've already outgrown. Another study found that people actually stay not because they want to, but because they believe their partner needs them. They don't stay out of love. They are staying out of guilt, out of fear, and out of conditioning that taught you that your discomfort isn't a good enough reason to go. It is, and it always will be.
And I wanted to add another reason that a lot of women are staying lately is because they see how bad the economy is getting. They see how bad the job market is getting. Even though they may have a source of income, that source of income isn't enough for them to survive on their own. And some women are stay-at-home moms and they have not worked in X amount of years. They know that in this market, it's going to be damn near impossible for them to get out and make a living on their own with the laws that are being made against women and with the economy being the way that it is. There are no jobs. The pay isn't great. Inflation, everything is going up. We're at stagnation where everything is going up and your pay is not going up. So we're just kind of just stuck. And we have no choice but to do what they want us to do. So that is one of the biggest reasons that women are staying, because they know they can't survive without that second income.
So I worked in a mental health ward for 2 years, females only. And can I just say that most of the women I spoke to were there due to men. Now, I'm not saying this to say men are wicked or evil. This is not one of those videos. However, it is to say, women, be wise, okay? Do not allow a man to drive you to the point of insanity. Do not allow a man to gaslight, manipulate, and send you to what feels like an early grave, okay? Know yourself. This is why I always preach, before you get into a relationship, know yourself. Be grounded in yourself. Something that I wish I was taught. But, in life, when you don't know something, at some point you learn it, right? Know yourself completely so that you are whole. So that when you are entering a relationship, you're entering with someone else who is whole.
That's why I have problem problem following males. I don't follow males. I mean, do you see any cubs in the forest following males? Do you?
So there are a lot of black women who follow Dr. Sebi's teachings and his food regimen, and this is true. Do you see any cubs in nature following males? Do you see any females in nature following males?
You don't. They follow females because that female is going to teach this cub the rules of life that we males would never know. But somewhere down the way, we bought the philosophy of Europe. You got to lead your woman. Now, how could you lead her when you came out of her vagina? I don't know, how could that happen? I mean, how could you do that? When you suck her breast for life, but she worth nothing? Well, with me, I said I'm going to give her a gift.
2 single moms and 6 kids under 9. Hi, we're Hannah and Elena, and we've decided to move in together to raise our 3 kids each under the same roof. Have you ever seen what happens when 2 moms raise a family together? It's not chaos, it's coordination. It's not missing something, it's doubled. Doubled patience, double protection, and double love.
I'm going to ask this question to women who are doing everything alone right now. Whether you're married, in a relationship, engaged, single, could you imagine being in a relationship or just in communion with another woman or women who do exactly the same things that you do? How much your stress levels would be lowered, your cortisol, your angriness, your sadness, your expectations, because women just do and don't have to be told.
Some households are arguing about whose turn it is to help with homework. These 2 already handled it. One's cooking dinner, the other one's checking spelling words. One's doing bath time while the other one sets up tomorrow's schedule. There's no ego in it, there's no power struggle. Just 2 women who understand what it means to carry weight, and they split it. The bills, they're handled, emotions are held, and dreams are encouraged. You think it's different? Yeah, it is. Because these kids are growing up watching partnership, not performances. They grow up seeing communication instead of silence. They grow up knowing love isn't loud and fragile. It's steady. And let's be honest, when 2 moms run a household, nobody's waiting to be asked. No one's waiting to clock out. No one's pretending they did enough. It's teamwork without keeping a score. It's strength without ego. It's 2 women choosing each other, choosing the kids every single day. So no, our kids are not lacking. They're surrounded by women who know how to build, protect, lead, and nurture. So 2 moms, that's not a disadvantage, it's a powerhouse.
Can you imagine the level of trauma it takes for a species to override their desire to have children? One of the most primal biological drives, wired for survival, and for us to override it. When large numbers of people say, I don't want to have kids, the world is not safe to
I have to stop right here and correct her, because it's not a large number of people who are saying that they don't want to reproduce. It is a large number of women who are saying they don't want to reproduce.
To realize that we live on a planet where everything is given for us to sustain life, and instead we create systems that keep us in perpetual burnout.
Again, it is not women who are keeping us in these systems. I know that there are some women who are backing these men, but it is men who are creating these systems. And at the root of it, it is women who are birthing these men into the system so that they can continue it. So that is why we see a global birth rate decline.
Is this chronically stressed, safety shrinks, and reproduction requires safety. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially. When a society becomes inhospitable to thriving, the body will respond by saying not now to children. These old systems are crumbling in front of our eyes. And we now get to create new ones in alignment with humanity and much more in balance with Mother Nature.
So ladies, if you have not ever had a kid before, having a baby is the closest you can ever come before death. It is about the same. It is that painful. I know a lot of women will lie to you and say theirs was easy, but yeah, I'm not going to say that there are no easy pregnancies or births. Some people may experience this, but a lot of women don't experience this, and a lot of women will lose hair, lose teeth. A lot of women will go blind. A lot of women will just die during pregnancy. So I just want to let y'all know to think very hard before you get pregnant. A lot of these men, especially if you're dealing with older men, their sperm will cause you to have a lot of issues with your pregnancy, miscarriages. Your kid could be deformed because of this man's sperm if he drinks, or if he's not healthy, or if he's like just old or ill. He can pass illnesses. I need y'all to really be selective with who you have kids with. Listen to what happened to this woman when she got pregnant.
Hi people, man. Yesterday I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this lady. I'm going to put her pictures on the top of this video. That's the same person. And that's what pregnancy did to her. Today again, I get a call from my friend who has been trying to conceive for 8 years. She's finally pregnant, thanks to God. She's 6 months gone. And she tells me, Nancy, I can't see. On my left eye, like she's literally blind. She's been to the specialist and it is pregnancy induced. Like she is blind because she is pregnant. I know someone who had a stroke on half of her face while she was pregnant. I know someone who's lost 4 teeth in pregnancy. When I was practicing, I met a woman who had Steven Johnson syndrome. Like she literally had autoimmune disease.
Y'all, I had a nephew that had Stevens Johnson syndrome on like his face and lips when he was younger, and it was from taking something that was in Tylenol. I don't know if he was allergic to it or what, but my sister found this out and she sued and she had a case, and he's like 26. He's like over 25 right now, and she's never got any compensation for that. Y'all, ladies, y'all really have to protect yourselves. This is crazy.
She lost a child. Women are going through life-changing, life-threatening situations because they want to bring a child into this world. I'm emotional, like I want to cry. Why would someone go blind because they want to give birth to their child? I don't even know how I feel right now. I am just like so emotional, like oh my God. I'm literally crying, like I swear. I heard that and I was just like, you know what? I was even going to make a video about what kind of changes we went through. Like if you could tell us the type of changes you went through in pregnancy. I, for one, had the worst high blood pressure that I've ever had in my life. My skin gave up on me. I lost almost all my hair. Why do women have to go through so much just to bring life into this world?
Women don't have to go through all of this, you know? I want y'all to know that. If you're thinking that your biological clock is running out and that you want kids or you're supposed to have kids, you don't have to have kids if you don't want to. If you enjoy your life the way it is now, it's not a must or a have to do on your checklist to have kids.
And the thing is, women are not even appreciated for these things. It's so annoying. Like oh my God, I'm so emotional. God, I can't believe I'm crying.
Are you Muslim or Christian? Do you believe in God? I'm not religious. I'm opposite to religion. You would call me, what you say, wicked. You would call me what you label as a demon. You would call me what you label as, what is it, evil? Yeah, which I'd rather be than except your imaginary friends or your imaginary gods. I'm not interested, because I choose my ancestors over imaginary people, because I know they're the one that fought for me or they're the one that fought for us. They protected us, they preserved us. So yeah, I'd rather be evil than be named a Muslim or a Christian, a Buddhist, I'd rather be what I am. Darkness, the shadow. That's what I'd rather be. I don't need to hear it from me. I'd rather be of the darkness, because I am the beginning of it. I represent darkness. I'd rather be leaning into the student of the darkness, the student of the unknown, instead of Allah and Jesus and in the beginning. I want to go there. Because I know religion has a start date. Did you know that? Guys, religion has a start date, which means it has a date of entry. You don't.
Y'all, she is me and I am her. I am a September Virgo woman, and I am the opposite of religious right now. I'm very spiritual. My eyes are very open, and I'm woke. I'm an enemy of the country right now because I'm woke. And yeah, I'm not a Christian, I'm not religious, but I do know that women should be in charge of this planet and of this earth, and I don't see anything getting better unless we are.
It had to turn Eve into a cautionary tale. Awakening had to be criminalized because she represents the moment consciousness meets awakening. And as we know, awakening has never been universally welcome. These authors understood very well that the average individual is emotional. Give them a story that they think they understand and they will defend it like they do. Logically, Adam could not have felt lonely. Loneliness only exists after a connection. And if he was connected to the system God throughout the entire story, then we know. Loneliness is not the absence of presence. It has to be the absence of the next level of awareness. If Adam symbolizes unconscious existence, then Eve would represent the next level of awareness for Adam. Consciousness encountering itself through contrast. Before Eve, Adam is in a garden. He doesn't even know he's in a garden, butt naked and unbothered. He exists, but he's not observing his existence. After Eve, he becomes aware. He is now conscious of the self. You cannot govern what has become aware, so they had to criminalize my girl, Eve. She represents the greatest threat to religion, awareness. But let me give you perspective. Religion has conditioned this story so deeply that people still revert back to it as evidence that women have been the problem since the beginning. That's not what this story is about. This story is about awareness being introduced into the human experience. Adam represented unconscious existence. Eve represented awakening. The fruit represented moral consciousness, but with moral consciousness came the power to evaluate what once went unquestioned, because the power is turned inward, which would suggest anytime self-awareness is met with authority, there will be conflict, just like in the story. And if you didn't understand that, I've translated it into scripture. Look at here. Genesis says Adam was with her. Timothy says Adam was not deceived. Romans says sin entered through how many? One man. Through how many? One man. Not through a woman, not through deception, through one man. So tell me again how Eve became the issue, because with the verdict so certain, the evidence sure looks surprisingly conflicted.
Men realize that women of our generation have been told by the women of older generations since we were young, don't rely on a man for anything, have your own money, get a good job, get an education, because a man can't take that from you. And a big reason why those women had to tell us that is because they fought to get away from those oppressive assholes. And they said, look at me, look at me. If nobody's forcing you to be in this position, don't. And we listened. We said, okay. So we are on the trajectory to women outperforming men professionally. So that's why I think it's really funny when men say things like, we don't care about your job. We don't care about our job. That's not what makes a good woman. We don't care that you don't care about that. We're doing this for our own lives and our own safety and protection that you claim to provide for women, but you're only really protecting against other men.
She's right. A lot of our grandmothers told us to do what you need to do to protect yourself because I wasn't able to. Your grandfather did A, B, and C. Your grandfather cheated on me. Your grandfather had other kids on me. Your grandfather put paws on me. I want you to be better. I want you to protect yourself because I wasn't able to protect myself. So I need you to listen to me.
I think the reason why so many men are crashing out about that is because they've never seen it before. They don't know how to handle it. And then the other problem with that is you have these creepy old men that continue to basically exhibit pedophilia and go after these women that are in their early 20s. The problem with that is they listen to us and they listen to the women that came before us. They don't give a fuck about y'all. They don't give a fuck about y'all. And they're also not falling for your little propaganda either. Women need to look like this. You're never going to find a man if you don't do that. Good. Give me a list of all the things that I need to do to make a man not like me, because I will do every single fucking one of them. Y'all ain't the price. Y'all ain't shit. And the fact that men will equate women wanting to be in the company of their own home and not bothered by somebody else's bullshit as oppressive and misandry. Do you know what we're worried about when we date? It's about getting stalked, getting harassed, not having our boundaries respected, possibly getting abused, in some cases murdered. So I don't care that your little ego is bruised because suddenly I make more money than you and I'm doing a little bit.
Will obey their boss and call it a career. But when it's time to obey their husband, all of a sudden, it's oppression.
Okay, sit down, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna explain this one more time. We all listen to our bosses because they pay us every 2 weeks. There are set hours, there are benefits, PTO, we can unionize, and if it's toxic, we can leave. So let me ask you, what is the competitive market rate for submission? Is there overtime pay for emotional labor? If no, why are you talking like an employer?
But what if a man is telling you what to do because he wants what's best for you?
Well, that's not his decision.
But how come the boss at work can tell you what to do and you're just going to listen to it no matter what?
Okay, let me ask you this. Can she submit a complaint for a third-party review of your behavior? Are you prepared to compensate her for any emotional distress under your watch? No? Then you want authority without liability, meaning you want a slave.
Corporation, your boss is going to say, show up at 6 a.m., at 7 a.m., wear this. But if a guy's like, hey, I don't want you to go out in public with your ass hanging out, that's somehow an issue.
Honestly, and I'm probably going to get eaten alive for saying this, I feel like a lot of women have forgotten their...
Run from any woman or man who tells you that you don't know your place as a woman. Run. Do not talk to them. They are a danger to you.
And we live in this inverted world, and I feel we got stuck in this whole
I do think we live in an inverted world. I think that we live in a world where men put themselves on the top and put women on the bottom, and I think it's supposed to be the other way around. I think women are supposed to be leading this world and women are supposed to be ruling this world, and it would be a much better world.
Feminism is a scam, and now it's like trying to undo. It is. Feminism, I don't care what anybody says. Yes, we are equal in value, but we are not equal in traits. We are different. Men and women are different.
I agree with that.
And I'm so sick and tired of why are we fighting to be something that we're not?
And most of the feminists that I follow or listen to, they acknowledge that men and women are different, and a lot of feminists are not pushing for equality. They are pushing for equity in this system because they acknowledge that men and women do have different traits and strengths about ourselves. They want equity, not equality.
I am not a man. I will never be a man. And for those of you that make that decision, I love that for you. Period. But there are certain things that are just, y'all are stronger than we are. We are more detail oriented than you are. There are certain traits that we naturally got from God based on the gender that we are. And it's all based on survival. It's all based on human nature. And so I feel like
whenever women like this want to point out the differences between men, and even men want to point out the differences between men and women, they always bring up strength. Like men are using their strength for anything good. You see what men who are stronger than women are doing with their strength all around the world. They're taking women out. They're starting wars. Like, we don't need men to open pickle jars for us. We could get the damn jar open. It's like, what else do y'all have? And I also noticed that women like this she's making like a hobo tour, talking to all these different males on these podcasts. And it's like, she doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have a boyfriend. She's always single. And she's always talking about how feminism is destroying everything. But from my point of view, most of the feminists that I follow or listen to, they're all married. They all have boyfriends and they all have husbands. But the women like this who are pygmies and just trying to get a man and got all the men in the comments saying protect this queen at all costs, they're single. And they're blaming everything on women who are speaking the exact opposite of them for the reason why women can't get a man. But those women that you're talking about have a man, have been married for 15, 20 years or more. Men get in the comments talking shit to me, saying that's why you ain't got a man, that's why you gonna die alone with cats. I like, y'all, I've been married for 20 years. Yesterday made 20 years. And I have decentered men. That's why they don't think that I have a man, because I have decentered them. I don't talk about my husband all the time. I bring him up and I let y'all know that I am married and I am considered more of a feminist. I'm not a misandrist yet. I'm pretty sure I can get there very easily. I'm not there yet, but I feel like that more women should start heading in that direction.
Have a lot of women, not all women, but most women have forgotten their place.
Within themselves,
within the order of family, within the order, even like with God, if you just want to start blanketing statements, now this is a thing. If you are a masculine woman, that's fine, but stop acting like you're feminine. If you want to be a boss babe, I don't need no man. You go do you.
Gags on you, Trick. Being feminine is saying I don't need a man, because the feminine can stand on her own. In all of nature, females don't need the male. They have other females around them. And we're masculine at the same time because we created them. They came from us, so they have both also.
But stop teaching that that's the answer, because I'm sick and tired of this divide of the family. I'm sick and tired of now good men, and I'm listening to stories, right? Good men are getting lazy in dating. They're getting lazy.
If they were good men, they would be with somebody. They would be snatched up right now and in a relationship and have a family. And if there's so many of these good men, why come you don't have one? Why are you so worried about what women are doing, the women that don't want to date them? Why are you worried about them? Go get you one. You look good. You're educated. You should easily be able to find a good man who wants to be with you because of your looks and because of your education. Because we all know over here on my channel, all of these men want a good education, right, ladies? Wink, wink. That's sarcasm. They love to have a woman that has an education, so she should be snatched up right now.
Dude, because women are making either everything too easy or they're too hands off. So now what's the point in even trying to date a woman when you're the man that you want me to be?
Feminism is a scam. It was sold to women as it would make them happier. But what they're seeing is, hey, if I sacrifice my entire life to go focus on my professional career, it actually doesn't make me happier. I become more depressed and anxious.
Let's forget about all of the studies and the stats who say that women are suicidal and depressed and anxious and just not happy in these marriages with these kids because these men are cheating on them and not helping them. Let's just glaze over all of that.
Stress in life versus the original plan. The way God designed it was the husband is the head of the household and the woman is coming up under him, and she gets to take care of the family and she can have a professional career too, which is fantastic, but it's not her primary aim. Her primary aim is not. And so what we have many women that are dissatisfied with their life. Imagine being a 50-year-old woman with no kids, but you have a bunch of money. You have no family, but you are wealthy. You've worked your way up the social professional.
Where is he getting this stuff from? The women that I'm seeing who are traveling and who are 50 and 40 with no kids, they're living their best lives. They are not reporting that they're sad or unhappy or lonely. Being alone isn't the same as being lonely. Women are not alone when they don't have a man or kids. women find other shit to do to occupy their time.
And so I think women are realizing that they want to come back home. They still want to work 100%, but they want their family to be the priority, not their professional
This situation is crazy, but we're going to go through it because it was sent to me. I trapped all 3 of my baby mamas. Yeah, I said it. I'm 41 now, and I see it different. Back then, I was selfish. I'd lie, love bomb, make promises I never planned to keep just to keep them close. I didn't care if they were ready, just wanted to control them. I didn't raise families, built broken homes. Now I got 2 daughters, and watching what's happening to them feels like karma. My oldest is 24 with 3 baby daddies. I swear she's reliving everything I put her mama through. Same lies, same manipulation, same pain. I look at her and see every bad choice I ever made come right back to me. And my youngest has had 4 abortions by different boys before even hitting 21. I can't even judge her because when I look in the mirror, I know exactly where she learned to let men use her. I thought being a dad meant giving money and showing up sometimes. I never realized it meant being a blueprint, and I was the worst example they could have had. I tried to right my wrongs, but I think it's too late. They don't listen to what I say because my life already showed them what I really believed. I want to make it right. Wait a minute. Okay, so this is a blind react. I had not read this before. Somebody just sent it to me and asked me to react to it. And whoever this is, I'm really glad that you posted this, number one, so that people can learn from it, and that you're also in a space where you're able to learn from your own mistakes. My question to the men who either identify with this or to the women who have been through this and may have talked to those men, I really just want to hear the male perspective in particular, right? Why in the first place? Was it something that went on in your life ahead of time that taught you this behavior? Do you just not like women? What is it that made this?
I really just want women to stop asking men these questions. You're wasting your time and energy trying to find out something that has already been answered time and time again because they don't want to. They were not built to be fathers. They just wanted to be a parent, but they didn't want to actually father and help with that child. Men want babies like kids want puppies. Stop asking these questions. They're just going to blame you anyway. No matter what they say, it's always going to come back to it was her fault. I left because of her in some kind of way. She didn't want to give me sex, so I didn't want to take care of my kid. I was married and had a wife, so she knew that, so I didn't help her with my kid because she knew I was married. Even if she didn't know he was married, it's going to always be your fault as a woman. If you have a kid by one of these men and he decides he doesn't want to stay with you, it's going to be your fault because you had the bigger responsibility not to allow him to impregnate you and to keep that baby. They're going to blame you. In their mind, they're going to blame you no matter what.
Behavior up here feel okay to do in the first place, and I can understand like your child going through it, you're protective of your child, but like, why were you not protective of the women that gave you your child? I'm genuinely curious. How can we break this cycle? Because it makes me sad to hear that this stuff happened, and it makes me sad to hear that this stuff happened. How can we get this to be
This cycle will continue as long as women are just out here living and not learning and not teaching their girls to do better than them. As long as the girls are not paying attention to the things that are happening to the women around them and the girls around them, this will continue to happen. Because it's not a secret that men do this. It's never been a secret. They've always done this. It's always been there for us to see and to acknowledge and to learn from. The bad part is, we're just now picking up that they do this on purpose. It's like you got to hear it from their mouth before you see that this is what they're actually doing. Whatever they say, it's a deflection and a lie. Whatever they say about you, how they run around saying women trap men with babies. How is that even possible? If you sit and think about that, how is it possible for a woman to trap a man with a baby? It's never happened. Never happened. A woman having a baby has never kept a man. It only ruined her and slowed her down and stopped her from living her dreams. I don't know if they mean trapped as in they only have to pay like $25 a month in child support. To a lot of them, that means that they're trapped. Like, y'all don't understand. Trapped to them and trapped to us means two different things. Obviously, they don't feel trapped if there's a lot of men out here doing what this man said he did. That's not a trap. If you felt trapped, you wouldn't be doing this. If you felt trapped, you would be doing what women are doing globally, which is dropping the birth rates and not having kids in this patriarchy, because it is actually a deadly trap for women to keep having kids in the world that we currently exist in right now.
She asked me today, she was like, you don't have any friends or a boyfriend, anybody to talk to? Like, where do you go when you're not home? And I was like, I buy myself food and I just sit on a park bench and I draw. That's what I do. Anytime I go outside, that's all I do if I don't go to school. Because I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't even know why I pay my phone bill because nobody calls or texts me. Only person I talk to is my therapist. That's it. Nobody else talks to me. I always hate when people, like, when you express yourself and then people are like, oh, just focus on yourself, love you. And it's like, people need people. And if you never have anybody and you never have, like, that's depressing and it makes you feel really bad. I always feel bad, when I go to school because people get to eat lunch with their boyfriends and with their friend groups, and I have to sit at lunch and just cry. And I've been doing that since I was in elementary school, and now I'm in college. Every single day, like, I used to have to eat lunch in the bathroom when I was in elementary school because I was getting bullied so bad. And when I was in high school, I had friends briefly, and they stopped talking to me one day.
I feel really, really bad for this girl because I know a lot of people are going through this. But I feel like women wouldn't have to go through this if we were more community-minded, if we weren't so male-centered. I experienced this too in the 9th grade. I ate lunch by myself because I was bullied in the 9th grade and some in elementary too. I didn't like being around people. People were so fake. I didn't feel alone because I like to be alone. I would rather be alone than be with people. So me eating by myself was fine for me. Even now, I'm mostly alone, and that's fine with me because I love myself. I like my company. I think I'm funny. I'm creative. I do a lot of stuff at my house. I can do a whole bunch of stuff. So, but for people who don't feel this way about themselves and don't like their own company, it could be like diabolical torture to be alone, and they want to like do stuff to themselves, hurt themselves or take themselves out. So I feel like if more women were just not so male-centered, if you're a single woman and you've decentered men and dating and love and all that, y'all should reach out to women that you see by themselves all the time. Say you go to the library, or if you just start talking to women. If you're out for dinner, you take yourself out to dinner or to the movies, just talk to the women who are by themselves also, because they might be feeling like this girl. And I feel like we do need to start getting into our golden girl era and linking up with other women who are just focused on women, so this won't be happening. Women don't have to be like this. I don't know if this woman is male-centered, but if she is, or if she was, that could lead to you being in this situation. If you were male-centered and women just didn't want to talk to you because of it. And also, if you're not male-centered, even if she's not male-centered, she probably can't get really good friend groups or get close to other women because they are. It's just so many reasons why women are ending up like this. But you'll have all these men online saying, oh, that's because she don't need a man. She probably said she don't need a man, which is still true. She doesn't need a man. She needs a community of women. She needs to link up with like-minded women who have the same interests as her. And I feel like that's how I am. Like, y'all, even though I'm married, I feel like this. I want to be in a group of women, and I don't want to just be around any women. I want to be around women who aren't male-centered. Male-centered women just irk my soul. So, y'all, I don't know. Get on these groups where you can find women friends in your area. I'm in Oklahoma. I've been here all my life. But yeah.
After 14 years, now a single mom raising 2 kids on her own, broken up with by the love of her life who's now dating her best friend, divorced after her husband cheated, also raising a child by herself now. 4 women publicly admitted that her husband slept with them while she was pregnant. You cannot control a man's commitment to you. You cannot control a man's loyalty. Always invest back into yourself. Never give up on your own dreams, goals, career. Get that money. Chase your dreams, not men. Never overly invest into a man. Because if it gets to the point like in these cases here, if you didn't overly invest and you still had your own life and identity outside of the relationship, you can just walk away, dust yourself off, and your life carries on. However, if you are the loyal golden retriever, always waiting on the sideline, making your entire life around him, forgetting that you are the prize, and then he cheats, you end up living with a lot of regret because you realized, I should have never put all of this love and attention and energy and money into a man. I should have put it into myself. So ladies, be smart. Do not learn from your mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes. Into your life, chase your goals, not men. Period.
I will keep saying it until I'm blue in the face that you cannot own a person. When you're dating a person, they don't belong to you. When you're married to a person, they don't belong to you. And this is evidence that they don't belong to you. This is also evidence that people are not naturally monogamous. Men don't even try to act like they're monogamous. They don't even try. They'll lie about it, but they don't try outside of that. Women at least try to be monogamous. Even though neither sex is naturally monogamous, there are more women who are willing to at least try to remain monogamous, to be faithful to that person that they're with. But there are billions of stories like this around the world about men cheating with 2, 3, 4 different women, even when their woman is pregnant. So if women can get it in their heads that you cannot own this man does not belong to you just because you decided to take his last name, we can protect our hearts a little bit better when it happens. I'm not going to say if it happens, I'm going to say when it happens. You can be prepared. You won't have given him your all and put all your eggs in one basket and not had your own savings or your own stuff going on. You'll be okay. You won't end up homeless and just in pieces. If you listen to other women globally who are telling you, my husband cheated on me 2 times. My husband cheated on me while I was pregnant. My husband did A, B, and C. If you start listening, you don't have to learn the hard way.
Sent me a message that said, as always, I'll make sure our children don't go without. And yeah, he's right, as always, because I haven't worked and he's always paid for everything. So of course, he's always been the one to not make them go without. It just takes me back to feeling worthless, the feelings of worthlessness. And the fact that my self-worth is just gone still. And how easily he can just make me feel like I'm this big again. I don't really understand what that was. Was that just a dig at me? Because if it were up to me, they would go without. And I don't even understand, why even say that? Because you clearly know that I haven't worked for the past 7 years. Almost said 10 again. So no, I haven't made any money and I haven't paid for anything over the past 7 years that our kids have been alive. So yeah, if it were up to me, they would have went without because you were the provider.
And this is exactly why you don't fight other women who are telling you that being a stay-at-home mom is not a good idea unless you have a way of making money or you sign a prenup saying that he will give you a certain amount of money for your services monthly, because when you're staying at home, it is still a full-time job. You are still cooking, cleaning, servicing him sexually, being a therapist, taking the kids where they need to be, and doing what you need to do for the kids, which is a nanny, without any help. You're doing everything without help. You're being a housekeeper. You're being a nurse. You're taking care of sick kids. You're doing everything and you're not getting paid. And so if he divorces you, you won't have any resume or any work history. This is why y'all please share these types of videos. These women don't want to listen to older women who have been there and done that and now are like scraping up pennies in their 40s and 50s trying to survive. Share these videos. Teach the younger women that being a stay-at-home wife with a man who is toxic and you have no safety net is not for your benefit. Don't do this, or you'll be in tears making YouTube videos wanting to get sympathy and sharing your story. You don't have to do this.
You show me a woman who is selfless, and I'll show you a woman who is overweight, miserable, out of shape, and tired. If he says, I want a woman who's selfless, what he's really saying is, I want a woman who I can use and abuse and suck the life out of. Hot women are selfish. Hot women put themselves first. You can also be kind and hot and selfish. Trust me. Write that down.
Number one, it says that matriarchy is inferior to patriarchy, which is the whole thing right there. You see that patriarchy is a sort of natural or divine order of things, which is not so. Two, that black men have believed and internalized the myth of white womanhood and Anglo-Saxon impositions, so that they place us in relation to where white women are.
Two things a woman, I believe, being a black woman and a very proud black woman, can do for a man: make him or break him. And then you take into consideration how the black man has been berated.
This is the selfless woman that the previous woman was talking about. She's overweight, she looks tired and angry, and she's talking about the plight of black men.
By the white man. His woman, adequately couldn't have the luxuries of another woman born the same just like her. This man has to, black men have stood by for a very, very long time and been humiliated by the system.
Right, but what have they done to change it? This was in 1970. Today is March the 11th, 2026. What have they done to change it? Y'all allow them to run around and say they are protectors and providers, but then we see videos like this all the time where the black man wasn't able to give his woman what she wanted, what other women wanted or had. So how are they providing anything? They weren't able to protect themselves because of racism or because of the patriarchy that the white man set up. So how are they protectors? Those two cannot coexist in the same sentence. They're protectors and providers, but they couldn't protect themselves from this white patriarchy. They couldn't protect us from this system of patriarchy and slavery. They couldn't provide the same things that other men could provide, but black women somehow keep saying that they are protectors and providers and agreeing with them when they are saying the same thing, and it's not true.
He can't get the job that this fella can get. And you must understand that his wife might have to go on welfare. He has to stay in the humility of that. He has to watch the plumber duck if the welfare worker come in there. Mm-hmm. You understand me? He has always been made to feel he's below the next man. So you must come, take into consideration. Now black men are learning, that they're part. They're beginning to feel like a man. They're getting their dignity and their pride back. So he needs a woman to keep on pushing it. Vice versa, When you say about, in the system, this system has destroyed, actually, the...
They speak like black women aren't in the same system. They speak as if black women have not had to fight and overcome, obstacles to get where black women have gotten. This is a mammy, this is a pygmy, and this is a woman who would fight you for a man who is mistreating her. If you said anything about her being mistreated by these men, she would try to fight you or take you out.
You know, because everything that we've ever done, there's no part of this country that you can say, if you touch that a black man didn't bring it in here. You know, everything that they built, they've never been able to share with it. I don't even want to hear that. You know, what society have done just took our black men and destroyed their manhood. That's what they've done. They aided and abetted.
I'm certainly not in disagreement. I'm in 200% agreement.
We understand that what the brothers are going through now, as you say, the cultural nationalism. But mightn't it all...
Now, I will pay somebody $1 million if they can go back and find at least 3 videos where there are a panel of black men sitting around talking about everything that has been done to black women and showing empathy for the things that have been done to black women. I doubt you could find 3 back then. I doubt you could find 3 now. Well, you may be able to find 3 now, but back then, you're not going to find a panel of black men sitting around talking about the problems that black women faced in this system and under this patriarchy, because they don't care. They did what they wanted to do. They thought about themselves and themselves only. And unfortunately, a lot of black women thought about only black men and didn't care about themselves. And so the focus was always on black men. And that's why a lot of people say they're not pro-black. They are pro-black woman. And a lot of people realize that the pro-black movements are male-centered and they center around black men. And a lot of women are leaving that behind. And y'all think I'm playing when I tell y'all to arm yourselves.